instantly. As soon as I saw it, it was perfect. It was something I've never seen before, but something I've dreamed of for the longest time. This is a 1978 Lincoln Continental Mark V Cartier edition. So there's a good amount of them made. Not too many of them were the Cartier edition. They had different designer editions from Bill Blass, Da Vinci, and Cartier, and a couple others. They only made a select few of those. Each one had a special quality, different paint styles, different vinyl colors, and then they had the base Mark V, and that came in certain colors too. They made a couple of those, but what made these special is the editions that were in. So this is the Cartier edition, obviously like Cartier diamonds and jewelry, and it's Wedgwood Blue, which was a color only in the Cartier editions. And it is a 460 cubic inch, 7.5 liter V8, which is also kind of special because most were 406 or 400 cubic inches. They only came with certain vinyl colors like white and another blue to match this. The interior is different on each one, so the interior is like a blue leather, and the clock and the dashboard also says Cartier, as well as a little plaque on the passenger side that says Cartier edition with the original owner's name. I've never ever seen another Cartier edition on the road or anywhere, never at a car show. So I would say about probably a couple dozen on the East Coast, and in America, maybe over 100 or possibly 200, a couple hundred. Not many. I've never ever seen one, especially not in this color. When I was probably 12 or 13, I would search Facebook and Craigslist for old cars that were beat up, ones that wouldn't even run, just so I could have like a project car to work on because I was super interested in learning. And I found one that was a 1972, which was a Mark IV, and it didn't even have a motor. It was beat up, it was rusted, and something about the body style just caught my eye, and I loved how long it was, and it was a giant land yacht that weighed 1 million pounds. So I would look them up on Facebook Market and look for ones around the area, usually not finding one in good condition or finding one that is in grass or some are beat up. And then on my 16th birthday, I was searching Facebook, of course, as I did every day. And this one popped up and I saw it, and the price was a bit high, but I still clicked on it just because I loved looking at them, and it was kind of rare to see this on Facebook, especially near the area. I'm looking through the pictures and it's beautiful, it's in beautiful condition, and every picture looked too good to be true. So I was like, okay, well, why don't I just show my mom? Just show her, she might like it too, just because she knows that I love these cars. So I went over and I showed her and I was like, check this out, this is pretty cool, right? And I did not expect her to say, let's go look at the car. And she was like, well, why don't you message him and go look at it? Who's the seller? And I said their name, who it was, and she's like, no way, that's my cousin's husband. And his father was actually the owner of Alice's Diner, which is a local diner I've been going to for probably 17 years. I messaged him and I said, hey, is this still available? And would I be able to look at it? And he responded instantly, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. And I said, well, when are you free? When can I take a look? And he said, I'm free tonight. And so we went down to Manheim Pike. There was a little house and a little garage, and met the guy, and it was good to see him again because we haven't seen him in years. Went back and saw the car, and it was perfect instantly. As soon as I saw it, it was perfect. It was something I've never seen before, but something I've dreamed of for the longest time. And both my parents were with me, and as we were looking at the car, I could see them look at each other and kind of talking to each other as I'm looking at the car. And he says, so what do you guys think? Before I could say a word, they were like, we'll take it. We'll take the car. I think people probably saw these on the road when they were younger, and it's kind of nostalgic to see this, and it's also a surprise because it's one of a kind. You don't see that color, you don't see that car, like a mattress with wheels. Very slow, but it just cruises. If you're going down a hill, you can go for like 1.5 miles without accelerating. It coasts, and the suspension's very soft, so speed bumps are not a problem. I'm trying to find another car to just have a daily, and then at that point I'm going to start cleaning up the engine bay and getting that to perfect. Since the outside's pretty close to perfect, it looks good on the outside, but some things on the inside need some work, so I'll probably work on that. Continue to take it to shows just for fun, and just slowly restore it back to perfection as best I can. But I think what gets people's reaction is who gets out of it. They don't expect a younger person to drive that car. I get asked a lot, is this yours? Or is this your dad's? Or is this your grandfather? And I usually say, no, it's mine, it's my car. So people are usually, you know, impressed by who's driving it. They're not expecting someone younger to get out. Usually people look at the car and then they look who's driving it, and they're usually surprised to not see an older man or an old guy driving the car. It's usually shock, but excitement at the same time. I like seeing people smile when it drives by or when it's parked, and everybody likes to make conversation about it too. So I like meeting people, hearing what they have to say and stories about how they might have had something similar. So it's cool to meet new people through this car. I think 100% I'll get older cars and a bunch of different cars because I love cars in general. But I would definitely get different Lincolns too. I like the Lincoln Zephyr from the 30s. That's really cool. I would love to get one of those. 63 Continental is also one of my favorites. So I'd love to find another Lincoln or a Continental at that point, but I'll definitely look for some older cars just to continue my passion.